Hello everyone, how is it going? Welcome back to another video on a character guide. All right, guys. In this video, we're going to take a look at how exactly to get the most damage out of Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, another gold character, an insanely high damage dealing gold character, as we all know. And as usual, we're going to take a look at what artifacts are good enough for this character, what support characters that you can use, and the other stuff like stats and the build. So, guys, before we get into that, I just wanted to let you know that if you are new to the channel and if you are watching this video for the first time, I would like to ask you to please hit the subscribe button and click on the bell notification for further updates on videos just like this. All right, guys. So, Heartbreaker Harley Quinn is a LOA character, and which is also known as League of Anarchy. And League of Anarchy is like one of the best goal teams that we currently have, and it can do around 2 billion damage as well if you have build them in the right way. So we're going to talk about the exact same team and one character specifically in that team, which is Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. All right, guys. So before we do anything else, let's just jump into the stats. All right, guys. So stats, as you can see over here, this is a damage dealer's build, obviously because this is a damage dealing character. Now, the good thing about this character is that it already has 3 fast attack hits. Okay, which means there is a decent amount of chance where your one attack will count as 3 attacks. Okay, like your fast attack chance is also required over here to be maxed out. That including these two, your damage will eventually increase because most of the damage done with Heartbreaker Harley Quinn is through the basic attacks when the opponent is stunned. We'll get to that. All right, guys. So, what do we need in the stats? We need critical attack damage, we need critical attack chance, and we need to max out fast attack chance as well. There is no need for resistance. Now you can see this resistance over here, I'm sorry, at 29%. But that is because I have unlocked the fourth gear slot for all the gears, and I'm not exactly having those those gear reforges for re-rolling that fourth gear slot. So that's the reason you are seeing that a little bit of defense and resistance over here. All right, guys. So yeah, this is what you need. It's pretty basic, and all the other stuff that you have apart from this should be attack in the gear slot. Okay, and when it comes to the talents side of this particular character, then you need to put at least 3 or at least 4 armor piercing talent, because armor piercing on basic attack, because as I said, the most amount of damage done will be through basic attacks. So you need to have armor piercing over here. You already have 3 hits on basic attacks. You already have maxed out your fast attack chance, and this will eventually increase your damage by a lot. So at least try to add 3 or 4 armor piercing stats. Uh, and maybe 2 as well. 2 would do as well if you're not able to basically max out your CAD or CAC. But then when you have all your gears at level 80 and you got your Harley Quinn at 7 stars, 6 stars, then you can add one more. All right, guys. So and then there is no need to add any lethal attack over here. There is no point in adding lethal attack, but I have one over here. But I think you can add one. Yeah, I think there is. I think the build says that you can add one slot for lethal attack chance. And as far as the gears are concerned, let's give it a quick look. As you can see, I don't have these. Okay, there is just one. So let's reroll this one. Okay, it's better than health. So I'm going to take that. The health is not required on any slots over here. As you can see, resistance was there. Attack is there, which is good. CAD is already maxed out. That was useless over there. And there is attack, which is good. All right, guys. So those were the stats that you need to make sure that you remember. CAD and CAC maxed out. A little bit of lethal attack can be used. And then fast attack chance should be maxed out. No need for resistance, any of these, or defense. All right, guys. Now let's talk about the artifacts. Let's talk about the artifacts. So the most go-to artifact for Heartbreaker Harley Quinn will be Crown of Conduct if you are not using Batman. If you are using Batman, then there is no point of Crown of Conduct. Maybe you should use something like Dark Metal cards on on Heartbreaker Harley Quinn if you're using Batman. But if in case you're using Raven or Zatanna, then your go-to artifact should always be Crown of Kondak. And the reason why Crown of Kondak is the best artifact for the LOA team, especially for Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, is because of this. Plus 14% damage used per power bar. So the more power bars you will use, the more damage you will get and will stack up to 30%. This is not just 30 attack stats, this is 30% attack stats. Okay. So this will give you a huge boost in the damage. Okay. And then there is chances that you will get the power bars that you spend will be recovered on a successful special with more than 22 combo meter. Okay, your combo meter should be more than 22, and there will be a 43.6% chance over here. It will eventually increase, the chance will eventually increase as you level up the artifact. This is just a level 4 artifact, so that's why it's 43.6%. And yeah, and as I said, this artifact is probably the best artifact if you're using Raven Zatanna, okay, or even if you're using Justice League the Flash to get increased hits on your basic attacks. At that point as well, you can use Crown of Kandak. And then the other artifact will obviously be, where is it? Dark metal cards. Now, dark metal cards is usually, used when you are fighting against a boss like Captain Cold, who is basically immune to critical bosses that are basically immune to critical hits or are resilient. Resilient means they take less damage from critical and lethal attacks. Almost next to no, that damage is almost next to nothing. So at that point, you can use dark metal cards. Now, if you don't have dark metal cards, or if you don't have Crown of Kondak, then what you can do is then at that point you can use an Azure artifact called as the All Blades. As we all know what All Blades can do, and over here, as you can see, 150% attack on tag in for 30 seconds. It stacks actually, and it is there for 30 seconds, and I think basically it can you can have like maximum four stacks of all blades. So four means you can do around 450% damage just by this particular artifact. Increased damage, but this is a level 10 artifact. If your artifact's level is 5 or 6, eventually the damage will be a bit less, but this is the maxed out damage that you will get. Okay, and this will be your third artifact that you can use. Now there are some other certain artifacts that are pay to win. If you're lucky enough, you might get it in one of your solo raid drops. I have one of those artifacts with me, which is called as the Harley's Mallet. Now, this is specially designed for Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, and this is just a level 3 artifact. Now, eventually, the damage will increase. So what it does is that it gives you a spot on, flat increase in damage against stunned opponents. You don't have to do any specials. You don't have to, stack up your attack. You don't have to increase the buffs on your character, to get the extra damage. You just need to stun the opponent, and the moment that opponent is stunned, your character Heartbreaker Harley Quinn will do more damage. And 97.78% damage will be increased. Now there are many other artifacts as well, which basically have increased stun duration. I don't remember those names right on the top of my head right now, because I don't have them with me, but I've seen these artifacts. Now these are pay to win artifacts that we're talking about. The first three artifacts that we talked about were free to play. Now the other artifacts that we're talking about are pay to win artifacts. So there are artifacts which can increase the stun duration. So if you have those kind of artifacts, then I think you can also use them. You can use them on Arkham Knight Batman if you have Arkham, or maybe any Batman character if you're using them. You can use it on them. You can stun the opponent. It gives you increased stun duration, which means you can do more basic attacks while your opponent is stunned and eventually do more damage. So these are some artifacts. Now, if in case you don't have all these three pay to win artifacts that I talked about, if you don't have all blades, if you don't have dark metal cards, if you don't have Crown of Kondak, then what you can do is you can try to use Claws of Forest. Claws of Forest gives you 75% extra attack. It's flat, 75% extra attack, nothing much. And then there is a chance to stun the opponent on swipe attacks, 30% chance. It's not like you will stun on every swipe attack, but yeah, it gives you a decent amount of chance to stun your opponent. And it's a level 10 artifact, so these stats will be eventually less if you're having this artifact at level 4, 5, or 6. And there is this Hawkman passive as well for this. So let's not talk about that for now. And then let's say if you don't have anything, you don't have nothing, you only have amulets, then I think Amulet of Might will be your go-to artifact, because it gives you increased basic attack damage for tag and swipe attacks. Now that's what we need, when you are fighting with Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. Most of the damage done are with basic tag and swipe attacks. So this is what you would need if in case you don't have any sort of artifacts that I talked about before this. Okay, so this is the best amulet so far that we have, Azure artifact. So these are some of the few pay to win and free to play artifacts that you can use on Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Now before we talk about the gameplay, let's talk about the passive. So 75% chance to reflect stunts, works mostly. It's mostly useful in the arena and champions arena. Minus 70% opposing team stun resistance, minus 75% opposing teams damage over time resistance. Okay, and this is the main and the most important passive of all. This is the passive which will give 300% damage against stunned opponents, 120% critical damage multiplier reduction for League of Anarchy team. Okay, this is where Heartbreaker Harley Quinn becomes very, very dangerous, and how exactly to go with the gameplay now. So, if in case you don't have, let's talk about in the scenario where you don't have Raven, or when you don't have Zatanna or any other character, any other legendary character to support Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. So, let's talk about Harley Quinn entangling Poison Ivy. Entangling Poison Ivy is very important in order to make sure that your other two LOA characters like Heartbreaker Harley Quinn and Last Laugh the Joker do their damage. Okay, so you need to have at least Batman, and mandatory character after Heartbreaker Harley Quinn is EPI. Without EPI, Heartbreaker Harley Quinn will not do any sort of damage. So make sure that you remember that. All right. So when you have EPI, Heartbreaker, Harley Quinn, and Batman. So how to go is, let's say if you're using the All Blades, okay, so you let the Arkham Knight Batman character, whatever it is, Arkham Knight Batman, Predator Batman, just make sure that they can stun, not Justice League Batman, okay, not that one, or not Batman who laughs. They cannot stun, obviously. So please make sure that you remember that as well. So what you need to do is you need to start off the fight with your Batman character. Let's call it Silver Batman. Let's call it the worst, not the worst, actually the least level character, Silver Batman. So you take Silver Batman as the first character in your team. Then you put Heartbreaker Harley Quinn below that, and then the EPI below that, and then you put the All Blades on Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. You put let's say you put dark metal cards if you have, or maybe something else you have on Batman, and you put a region matrix on EPI, because usually you would not let Batman or Heartbreaker Harley Quinn die, so it's better to keep a region matrix on EPI. All right, or a Nora Snow Globe if you have it. All right, guys. So what you need to do is you need to start off the fight. You need to tag in Heartbreaker Harley Quinn right away so that you get the first stacks of all bleeds, and then you do your specials. You tag out. You tag in. Not exactly special. You do basic hits. You get enough power. You tag in Batman, and you do a special too. Okay. So this is a loop that can take you through the entire 3 minute of the fight. So this is a loop. You tag in. Then you tag in Arkham Knight Batman. You tag in Silver Batman, and then you do a specialty. You stun the opponent. Make sure that you read the passives, because if the opponent is immune to stun, then there is no point in using this team. Okay, you need to make sure that the opponent it does not have any resistance to stun or immunity to stun. Okay, so you stun the opponent, you tag in Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. Now when you tag in Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, she will have two stacks of all baits. Okay, so you're doing more damage than what you were doing before. All right, then you tag out again after doing a basic hits, then tag in again. Mostly you should also be careful about using the tag-ins, because you need to have a bit of a knowledge about ghost tap as well. You do a ghost tap and you make sure that you land in a perfect tag in. Okay, no interruptions from your opponent whatsoever. All right, guys. So this is the gameplay that you need to follow. When the opponent is about to do the super move, you tag in EPI. You let EPI take the super move. Even if she's dead, she will get back because she's having a regen matrix. And then you tag in Batman again, do a special too, and that's how the game goes on. But if in case you are having a character, character like Raven or Zatanna with you, then you put Crown of Kandak on Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. You put a Solar Raid artifact, maybe a Region Matrix on EPI, and then you got Raven with or Raven or Zatanna with with the solar ray artifact as well. So you do your darkness stacks with Raven, or maybe if you have Zatanna, you do your damage buffs with Zatanna. You do a special 3, you burn the opponent with Zatanna, and then you do some percentage damage, then you get those damage stacks to 300% with Zatanna. Then you tag in Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, and without tagging her out, just keep doing the special 2s. Make sure that your combo meter is above 22 so that you get increased chance to, get that power that you have spent back. So yeah, and then when you're using Raven, you just go in, you stack those darkness stacks, you tag in Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, do a special 2. The special 2 can stun, by the way. And your special 2 can give you a lot of stun, and the stun duration may be a bit low, but yeah, that's what you need to do the basic hits. And then you tag out, you do the darkness stack, you tag in Harley Quinn again, and then you keep doing the combo. All right, and then you basically let EPI tank the super move always with Regen Matrix, or if you think your EPI is strong enough to tank the full super move, that's great. All right, so yeah, this is what you need to do, how you need to go on with the gameplay. Now, the characters that you would need to fight with Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, the mandatory character is that you need to have this character. Without this character, Heartbreaker Harley Quinn will not do any sort of damage. And that character is Entangling Poison Ivy. Okay, make sure that you remember that. Another LOA character, Entangling Poison Ivy is a must have character. Then, the other support character that you can use. Now, there are various characters that you can use. The best one that I have is Raven. Then the second one I would say is Zatanna. There is Batman, Arkham Knight Batman, or Silver Batman, or Predator Batman. Any Batman who has a stun on special too. Okay, and then you can also use Justice League the Flash to get the increased hits. Let's say, if you're having like just 200 million health left or 300 million health left, or if you have some decent soul rate artifact, you can just put in Crown of Kondak. You can let Flash die. You can put No Rust, No Globe on Flash as well. You can let him die, and then you can start doing your hits, like with special 2 stun, and then you do your normal basic hits after that. And then yeah, I think these are the pretty much the characters that you might need in order to give the most support, maxed out support to Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. All right, out of which Batman is free to play. Raven is also free to play. You don't need to have gears because you can easily get Raven through spending your gems. You might need to spend a little bit more gems to get Raven, but yeah, once you get Raven, there is no need for you to get the gears. I'm still using Raven without gears on my main account. Okay, so make sure that you also remember that. Then Zatanna can be used without gears. Even if you have like 2 or 3 gears for these characters from the power up chest, it's great. It's fine. You just don't have to let them die. That's about it. The damage will be done through Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. So yeah, this is basically, these things basically are the complete information, the complete knowledge that you need to have about Heartbreaker Harley Quinn if you want to get the most damage out of her. All right, guys. So yeah, I guess that's about it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and let's meet again in the next video. Until then, guys, have a great day. Take care, be blessed, and stay safe. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye.